2 weeks before my wedding, my registry started congratulating me on a baby I didn't have. The email subject line said, "Great news! More gifts reserved for your little one." I was on my lunch break in the break room at Presbyterian in Dallas, still in scrubs, and eating a granola bar over my charting. The registry dashboard loaded slow on hospital Wi-Fi, then flashed a confetti banner. New purchases, a bottle sterilizer, a crib mobile, a plush tummy time mat. My registry was supposed to be towels, a cast iron skillet, and the monogram cake server I was weirdly sentimental about. I scrolled, frowning. Next to each baby item was a cheery note. "So excited for your little one." The shipping address wasn't mine. It was Kelsey Johnson's place in Uptown. People like to pretend milestone traditions are pure generosity, but there's a quiet ledger underneath. You know how it goes. Every family keeps score, even if no one says it out loud. Registries are supposed to make things simple, but they also turn feelings into line items. When someone treats your milestone like a coupon book, it hits a nerve you didn't know you had. I had worked extra shifts to pay deposits and keep the peace. A registry felt like one thing I could control. I clicked Order Details. The platform stamped each item with "Purchased via Lily and Ryan Wedding Registry." My name, right there, like a watermark. The gift messages were from numbers I recognized as distant cousins and my mom's church friends. The apartment listed was Kelsey's, my cousin, due in 6 weeks, very charming, and famous in the family for finding a hack for everything from concert tickets to airline upgrades. If it was a glitch, it was a precise one. As I was debating whether to call customer support or text Kelsey, a new notification popped up, an invite from Aunt Deb. "Kelsey's baby shower this Saturday." I opened it. Pink balloons, a chair rental venue in Richardson, and at the bottom, gift registry, with a shortened link. I tapped it. My registry opened, our engagement photo grinning at the top. Same list, same link I'd sent in our Save the Date email. I actually laughed, this dry little sound that didn't feel like mine. Then I took screenshots of everything. I didn't call anyone, not yet. I copied the link into a note and stared at the layered names on the shipping label. Mine in the header, hers in bold at the destination. Dallas is big, but this felt small. I closed my laptop and told myself I'd finish my shift first, then decide whether I was looking at a mistake or a choice. I finished charting, clocked out, and sat in my car with the AC running like white noise. I called the registry's customer support because I needed a neutral voice. The rep pulled up my account and walked me through the purchase trail. "All these items were bought through your wedding link," she said, "but the buyer selected ship to a different address." She read it out. "Kelsey Johnson, apartment number, buzzer code." "We can't stop shipments already in transit," she added. It wasn't a glitch. It was a workflow. Families like ours create specialists. There's the organizer, the fixer, the martyr, the charmer. Kelsey had always been the charmer, a person who could convince a manager to honor last month's coupon with a smile. You know the type. They frame exploitation as creativity, and you feel boring for wanting rules to mean anything. Registries expose that fault line because they're public symbols of private planning. If you've ever hosted anything, you already know the real test isn't the event. It's how people treat the boundaries around it. I called Ryan next. He answered on the second ring from the garage, voice echoing. I explained what I'd found, the Avite link, the shipments. "That's brazen," he said, calm but clipped. "Do we talk to her or your aunt?" I pictured Aunt Deb, who loved any solution that kept the peace without acknowledging who created the mess. "Not yet," I said. "If I come in hot, it turns into me being dramatic." Ryan paused. "I'll back whatever you decide. Just remember, our boundary isn't rude. It's ours." He had this way of cutting the fog in my head into squares. You tell yourself you'll be the bigger person. You tell yourself a win is keeping your day drama-free, but the cost of silence is rarely on the invoice. It lands later, when you need people to treat your plans like they matter. It's not about a towel set. It's about whether your name can be moved around like a label. If you don't speak up now, you teach everyone to keep moving the lines. I RSVP'd, yes, to the shower because I wanted to see how open the play was. Then I did 2 practical things. I set a password on my registry so only guests with the code could buy, and I changed the default shipping back to our place. I also added a short note at the top. Please ship to Lily and Ryan to avoid delays. No accusation, just friction where it needed to be. After that, I texted Kelsey. Saw the invite. Looking forward to celebrating you Saturday. She replied with a string of hearts and, you're the best. Don't worry about a gift. I stared at that line a while, then started a folder on my phone labeled Registry Screenshots. By Thursday, the package's tracker looked like a parade I wasn't invited to. 3 shipments had been delivered to Kelsey's place. The bottle sterilizer, the tummy time mat, and a pack of muslin swaddles my mom's friend Sheila had bought. The order notes were sweet. So happy for you both. And I couldn't decide if both meant me and Ryan or Kelsey and the baby. That's the weird part about public generosity. Language blurs when people are rushing. If you've ever signed a group card, you know the feeling. You write something kind, not always something accurate. It's innocent until someone needs accuracy. I called my mom while folding laundry. She listened, quiet at first, then went into her familiar Midwest soft mediator tone. Honey, registries confuse people, she said. Maybe Kelsey didn't realize the link was yours. I told her about the shortened link in the invite and the shipping label with Kelsey's buzzer code. Oh, Mom said, and that one syllable held a shift. Families have gravity wells, people who bend logic around themselves. If you grew up with one, you recognize the pull. You learn to tell the difference between confusion and convenience disguised as confusion. At work, I ran it by Tasha on the night shift. Tasha never sugarcoated. Charmers run on other people's reluctance to make it awkward, she said, scribbling vitals. So you create a smaller awkward to stop the bigger one. Make it easy to do right, hard to keep freeloading. Her advice was practical, not punitive. She wasn't telling me to blow up the shower. She was telling me to install speed bumps. You need that friend who reminds you that boundaries aren't speeches, they're systems. That night, Ryan and I made a plan at the kitchen table. Step 1, we sent a short email to our wedding list. Quick registry update. New password to prevent mistaken purchases. Please ship to us to avoid return. No drama, just housekeeping. Step 2, we bought a modest baby gift ourselves. A pack of diapers and a cute book, so no one could say we showed up empty-handed or vindictive. Step 3, I drafted a calm script for Kelsey. Hey, I noticed the link in your invite goes to our wedding registry. I need you to swap it to yours today so gifts stop routing through my account. Clear, specific, with a timeline. If you've ever dealt with chronic line steppers, you know the power of nouns and dates. Friday afternoon, Aunt Deb posted an update in the invite comments. Thank you for the outpouring of love. Use the link above. Super easy checkout. Under it, someone asked if the registry name looked odd. Aunt Deb replied, don't worry about the header. It's all the same system. I screenshotted that too. It wasn't malicious. It was momentum. People were already moving, so the assumption was, keep moving. I stared at the screen a long minute, then set my phone down and taped the gift receipt to the diaper box. I go to the shower, smile, hand over our gift, and then ask Kelsey to fix the link before the cake was cut. It felt like the smallest awkward that still did the job. Saturday came humid and bright. The rental hall in Richardson had pink streamers and folding chairs arranged like pews. A welcome table sat by the door with a framed sign. Scan for gift. Under the QR code was a handwritten note. Password, May 15th. That was our wedding date. A volunteer cousin handed me a Sharpie to write my name on a paper heart for the guest book. I scanned the code out of habit, and my own face stared back. Our engagement photo at the top of the page. People were already tapping. Add to cart. It felt efficient in the way a conveyor belt is efficient. You either step on or get pushed aside. Charmers rely on decorum. They win while everyone else prioritizes atmosphere. If you've ever hosted anything, you know how the room compels you to sacrifice accuracy for vibe. The trick is recognizing when manners are being used as a tool to extract. Boundaries are simple in an empty room. They're hardest when the music and cupcakes are already paid for and everyone's in a good mood. That's when you decide whether your name is a decoration or a responsibility. I found Kelsey near the mocktail station in a white sundress, glowing in that 8 months pregnant way. I hugged her, gave the diapers and book, and said my line. Hey, quick thing. The sign links to our wedding registry with our password. I need you to swap it to your registry now. She blinked, smile fixed. Oh, that? It's all the same system, she said, and Deb printed the sign. People were confused, so I made it easy. I kept my voice even. It isn't the same. Purchases are under my account. Please change the link before more go through. She looked toward the gift table, then back. During my shower? She asked. Yes, I said, because it's during your shower that it's happening. And Deb materialized, sensing friction like weather. Ladies, everything's lovely, she said, soothing and firm. Let's not get technical. That word, technical, is how people minimize logistics when logistics are the entire point. I opened my phone and showed the shipping history with her address. This is already delivered, I said. This will become returns and awkward messages later. The fix is simple. Update the link, cover the QR, and post a new comment in the Evite. Deb's smile thinned. We'll handle it after, she said. That's momentum talking, not malice. Momentum resists correction, because correction admits you were moving in the wrong direction. You plan for resistance by offering small action. I handed Kelsey a sticky note from my purse. Just cover the QR for now, I said. I can help you set up a new link after cake. She hesitated a beat too long. That's when I realized she never made her own registry. The hack wasn't a shortcut, it was the whole plan. My phone buzzed. Congratulations, stroller purchased. My registry's top dollar item. Across the room, someone hooped at their phone, proud to have given generously. I felt the room tilt, not from drama, but from math. I texted Ryan, going sideways. Stroller just hit my account for her address. He replied, do what you need. Proud of you. I slipped the sticky note over the QR code and set my palm on it like a paperweight. Kelsey exhaled, then finally said, fine, show me what to do. We stood at the welcome table like co-managers of a small crisis. I pulled up the registry app and created a bare-bones list in Kelsey's name. Diapers, wipes, a mid-range monitor, a basic stroller. No cutesy extras. Keep it simple, I said. She nodded, cheeks pink, not from humiliation so much as overload. People think boundaries are confrontations. Most of the time they're spreadsheets and buttons. I swapped the Evite link on Aunt Deb's phone, posted a comment. Updated registry link. Please use this one. And slid the sticky note fully over the old QR. Deb fetched tape, and we sealed it down. The machinery of the room shifted a click. When the games ended, I asked for 30 seconds before gift. Quick housekeeping, I said, steady and upbeat. Thank you for loving on Kelsey. The registry link was pointing to my wedding account, but it's fixed now. Use the new link in the Evite so everything ships right to her. A few laughs, a few "oh," and phones came out. That's the social math. If you make the right path the easy path, people will take it. A couple of older ladies thanked me for making the internet less confusing. The vibe held. No sirens, no scene. Deb pulled me aside anyway. Tone, she murmured, half scold, half plea. Accuracy, I said back quiet. Kelsey leaned on the wall and admitted the thing I'd already guessed. I never made one, she said. Deb said your link would work and people already had it. I've been behind on appointments, and I thought it was clever. Overwhelm is human, but if you've ever covered for a charmer, you know the difference between temporary help and becoming the infrastructure. We'll straighten what's already in transit, I said. After that, the new link carries the weight. My phone buzzed. Stroller processing. Not shipped yet. I stepped into the hallway and called customer support. Cancel and release fund, I said. The rep confirmed. Within an hour window, we were good. For items already delivered, she generated prepaid return labels addressed to Kelsey. All she had to do was drop them at UPS. I forwarded the emails and looked Kelsey in the eye. Can you handle those drop-offs this week? She swallowed. Yes. Back inside, someone scanned the new code and hooped. Monitor secured. The purchases started routing cleanly. Cake came out. Relief isn't triumph. It's airflow. The stroller buyer texted me a screenshot and asked, did I mess up? I replied, you're wonderful. Just canceled it so you can reorder on Kelsey's link. Thank you. They sent back a heart and a second screenshot. Order placed, shipping to the right address. I tucked my phone away, felt my shoulders unhook a notch, and told myself the next step wasn't public. It was the one-on-one conversation I still owed my cousin. After cake, I found Kelsey in the hallway by the coat rack, where the air was cooler, and the music thumped through the wall like a reminder to keep it short. I kept my voice low. I'm not mad, I said, but I need you to hear why this crossed a line. She pinched the bridge of her nose. I thought it was resourceful, she said. People already had your link. I'm tired. Deb's busy, and I just borrowed what was set up. That was the word, borrowed. As if consent could be assumed because we shared a bloodline and a few childhood summers. Ask before you borrow, I said, and don't borrow my name. She nodded, eyes bright but not defensive now. You're right, she said. I'm sorry. It wasn't theatrical. It landed. There's a difference between clever and extractive. Clever invites Extractive appropriates. Families often blur that on purpose because efficiency looks like kindness when you're the one benefiting. If you've ever been the competent cousin, you learn fast that competence attracts dependency. The test isn't whether you'll help, it's whether you'll be drafted. Boundaries are the shift from being drafted to volunteering on terms you can live with. They aren't about punishment. They're about preserving future goodwill. On the drive home, Aunt Deb texted a thank you with a tiny sidecar of correction. Maybe next time flag me in private? I stared at it, let my first reply evaporate, then sent. Happy to keep things smooth. I'll help Kelsey drop off the returns Monday. Two truths can sit side by side. She wanted 0 waves. I wanted the boat pointed forward. When I called Mom, she surprised me. I'm proud of you, she said. You didn't burn the room down. Small sentence, big exhale. You don't always need people to admit you were right. You need them to stop acting like you were wrong for caring. Monday morning, I met Kelsey at the UPS store off Greenville. We had 3 boxes with prepaid labels and an employee who'd clearly seen every flavor of Family Errand. Kelsey looked relieved when the scanner beeped and the boxes slid away. Thank you, she said, quieter than the weekend. We grabbed iced tea next door and went over her new registry. I showed her how to add the basics and how to write a short note that didn't sound like an apology or a sales pitch. Keep it specific, I said. People like to do the right thing. Give them a clear path. She tapped it out, hit save, and sent the link to Deb. Repairs don't feel like triumph. They feel like maintenance. Boring, necessary, the stuff that keeps a relationship from rusting. If you're waiting for a victory lap, you resent the work and call it martyrdom. But maintenance is how you get to enjoy anything later. That night, I sent a quick group message to my wedding guests who'd been caught in the crossfire. If you purchased through our link and saw a different address, it's fixed now. Thank you for your generosity and patience. People responded with thumbs ups and one. The internet. No one wanted a debrief. They wanted permission to move on with dignity intact. Then Kelsey posted a photo of the returns receipt with a caption, "Learning curves. Thanks to my cousin Lily for helping me get organized." It wasn't a rewrite of the weekend, and it wasn't an expose either. It was a line that told the story I could live with. Not the charmer's cleverness, but the adult move to correct. A few relatives commented hard. Deb messaged me a single word, appreciated. I put my phone face down and opened the box that had arrived for me at our apartment. The monogram cake server I'd wanted since January, shipped to the right address, my name spelled right. I turned it over in my hand and thought about how something can be both small and symbolic. Then Ryan called from the garage and said, "Rehearsal dinner headcount just doubled. My aunt decided to come. New moving part, same principle. Establish the line. Keep the room intact." Rehearsal dinner planning felt like triage. Ryan's aunt texted, "Good news. My sister and her boys can make it." That turned 30 into almost 50 at a prepaid Italian place in Lower Greenville. The manager was kind but blunt. Headcount locked by Wednesday. Prefix only. No. We'll just squeeze. Expectations expand in any vacuum. Boundaries shrink them back to shape. If you've ever hosted, you know the only power move is a clear policy and a timestamp. I sent a cheerful update with a link to confirm seats by noon. Set menu. Prepaid per person. Reply with your dish choice. Extra guests are welcome for drinks after dessert. Predictably, one cousin replied, "We'll figure it out on the night." I answered, "Wish we could, but the restaurant can't." That's the trick. Reference the system, not your patient. People accept Hal's rules faster than my line. Ryan backed it with a group text from his side. By cutoff, we were at 36. Manageable, honest, paid. At work, I printed place cards during lunch and stuck a tiny sticker on each with the entree choice so the servers wouldn't need to ask twice. Logistics is kindness in motion. Kelsey surprised me by offering to help after her appointment. She came over with a bag of ribbon and a comb I hadn't seen on Saturday. We folded, sorted, and she asked what needed doing at the restaurant. I told her the check-in table needed a friendly gatekeeper. She grinned. "I can be friendly with rules." The dinner started smooth. The host checked names, Kelsey handed place cards, and servers moved like choreography. Midway through antipasti, Ryan's aunt arrived with 2 unannounced relatives in from Waco. She gave me the hopeful smile that says, "Be the bigger person." The host pulled me aside. We could add a small table, but it would throw the kitchen and cost full price on a separate check. This is where you think it's about $80 a head. It wasn't. It was about teaching the room what limit means before tomorrow. I offered them the bar and dessert on us afterwards. Aunt blinked, recalibrated, and nodded. Tension released, not by generosity alone, but by option. If you're listening and thinking, why not just pay and move on? You probably haven't lived inside a pattern like this. Sometimes you absorb the cost. Sometimes you fix the habit. Make the right path easy, the wrong path inconvenient, but not humiliating. After Atrace landed, Kelsey tapped my arm. Can I say something? She asked. She waited for my yes, then stood, glass in hand. She didn't grandstand. She glanced at me first like she'd learned the tempo. 30 seconds, she said, voice steady. A thank you for Lily. The room quieted, and I felt the air shift toward whatever came next. Kelsey lifted her glass and kept it tight. Thank you for showing me that clarity is kindness, she said, eyes on me first, then the room. Lily saved my shower from my shortcut, and she did it with grace. I'm grateful. It wasn't dramatic. It was tidy and adult. People clap the way they clap when the temperature drops 5 degrees. Ryan squeezed my knee under the table, and Aunt Deb's shoulders lowered an inch, like someone let out a seam. Public acknowledgments do a quiet recalibration. Families run on stories, and a sentence said out loud edits the script everyone remembers later. If you've ever managed a boundary in a group, you know that private fixes prevent fires, but a small public pivot keeps the embers from reigniting. The goal isn't humiliation. It's getting the room to adopt the rule, so you don't have to police it every time. The host thanked us for the place cards and entree stickers because the kitchen hit their marks. Ryan's aunt guided her extra guests to the bar, and I sent over tiramisu with espresso like a peace bridge. They ended up laughing with Ryan's cousins and telling us afterward they preferred the quieter corner. That's another thing you learn planning anything. Options beat apologies. The manager comped coffee because we love organized people, and I mentally clipped that as proof that logistics isn't cold, it's hospitality with receipts. While dessert plates disappeared, my phone pinged through a run of small wins. The stroller donor reordered to Kelsey's link, 2 baby items in transit got returned scans, and the registry vendor confirmed a credit back to our account. Kelsey texted me a screenshot of her updated list with basics added and shipped to me. Locked. Deb followed with, good tone tonight. Proud. Short. Declarative enough. Kelsey leaned over at our table and whispered, let me run check-in tomorrow. Friendly with rules, remember? I smiled. It's yours. We stepped onto the sidewalk into the thick Dallas heat, and the night felt like the pause before a held note. Ryan's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen, then at me. Photographer. He said, the city denied our Saturday photo permit for Clyde Warren. There's a 5K on the deck from noon to 3. Our ceremony ended at 1. The plan had been bridal party shots under the elms, then the walk over to the reception. He scrolled. She says we'll need a new spot and a new permit by morning, or she can't block time with her second shooter. That's the thing about planning. One solved problem introduces the next constraint. We stood there with to-go boxes, dress shoes clicking, and I felt my brain move from applause to triage again. Okay, I said. Plan B was shade, close to the venue, no permit drama. Ryan exhaled. And a place where my aunt can still just swing by. We both laughed, tired and real, and headed home to reroute the day before the day. We sat at the kitchen table with a legal pad and a city map open on my laptop. The photographer called back fast. You need open shade and clean background at midday, she said. Parking garage rooflines, or a breezeway beats a park at noon anyway. Experts cut through noise. If you've ever solved a day of not, you know the job isn't heroic. It's picking constraints you can live with. We listed options within 10 blocks of the venue and circled 3. The Arts District garage with a skyline edge, the courthouse colonnade for shade, and the hotel lobby where our reception planner had pulled. I treated it like a med pass. Right order, right dose. I called the garage. The attendant said photos were fine if we didn't block cars. The courthouse security desk said we could use the exterior columns as long as we stayed off the steps. The planner texted that the lobby would be open for 15 minutes between events. Options beat panic. I dropped pins into a group chat labeled Photo Squad, set a 1-page schedule with times, and wrote one clear rule. If a spot is blocked, we move to the next. No debates on the curb. That's boundary work in plain clothes. Pre-decisions that protect momentum. Morning slid into motion. Kelsey ran guest check-in at the ceremony like she trained for it. Smiles with a hard stop. Ryan handled his aunt gently but firmly. Bar after vows. not before. The florist called about heat-wilted boutonnieres. I told her to ditch the fragile ones and pin greenery. People read tone more than content. Steady tells them we're fine. The 5K rerouted 2 bridesmaids. Our driver swung to the courthouse instead of fighting the park. The photographer beamed when she saw the colonnade. "This is better light than the park," she said, and I believed her because her eyes relaxed. Families love a photo fantasy. They picture oak trees at magic hour, not concrete at noon. Leadership is translating reality into a vision people still want to join. We staged the first look under the columns, where the marble threw back a soft glow. Runners cheered from a block away. It sounded like borrowed applause. The bridal party gathered on time because the group chat told them where to be. When Ryan's aunt tried to float a "just one in the park," I smiled and pointed to the schedule. "We'll get a green shot in the lobby courtyard after," I said. Give a yes somewhere, and the no lands softer. At the garage, the skyline framed us like we planned it that way. The photographer moved fast, calling names, working through the list I'd printed. Logistics is a love language, it says. "I wanted this to feel easy for you." Kelsey fluffed my veil and whispered, "friendly with rules." Our inside joke turned into muscle memory. I looked at Ryan, who did that tiny nod he does when we're on the same page. If you've ever fought for a boundary and then lived inside its benefits, you know the relief, not triumph, just alignment. We hit our time, packed the car, and rolled toward the ceremony with the feeling of a train sliding into its track. At the door, the planner held up 2 fingers, 2 minutes. The photographer lifted her camera. "Ready?" she asked. I took Ryan's hand and felt the answer settle without words. The ceremony room felt crisp and bright, the kind of light that makes everyone look a little kinder. Kelsey handled check-in like a pro, smiling and redirecting latecomers without letting them drift toward the aisle. Aunt Deb took a front row seat and stayed there. When the music started, I caught Ryan's eye and felt the whole week click into place. Not perfect, just functional in a way that let joy breathe. We said our vows without rush. You don't need magic to make a moment land. You need space with no one tugging at it. Afterward, the planner steered us straight to the lobby courtyard for the green shot I'd promised. The schedule did its job. Bridal party, parents, a quick big family frame, then out. The photographer moved us like she was sliding beads on a string. Deb thanked the manager for the timing help, and I watched the relief on his face. That's the thing about logistics. When they're right, everyone gets to be generous. We got to the reception on time, the DJ hit our song on cue, and I cut the cake with the monogrammed server I'd waited months for. It wasn't precious. It was concrete proof that details can stay where you put them. Little repairs surfaced as the night unspooled. The stroller donor hugged me and said, "Reordered and arriving Tuesday." I thanked her without making it a story. Kelsey squeezed my hand and murmured, "All returns confirmed." I posted my link and did my own thank yous. No speeches, no penance, just adult maintenance. Deb leaned in later with a soft, "Good leadership today." It wasn't an apology and didn't need to be. People show you who they are and how they adapt, not how they explain. If you've ever hosted anything, you know the real work is invisible. Boundaries aren't drama. They're the quiet structure that lets the good parts happen on time. I didn't fix my family. I changed my part in the pattern. Clarity became hospitality. Options replaced apologies. The next request will come. That's life. But now there's a shape to carry it. We danced, hugged cousins, and watched the room hum without constant rescue. When we left through a tunnel of sparklers, I felt tired in the right way. Back at home, I set the cake server in the drawer next to the towels people actually shipped to us. Nothing grand, nothing moralized, just a small, steady lesson I could hold. Set the line early, keep the room intact, and let the day be what you planned it to be.